Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at Flipping Houses for Rookies. I'm Bill the Dealmaker.
I'm Pete the Rookie.
Yes, you are.
Don't rub it in.
How are you today, Peter?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
How about you?
I'm well.
Good.
Can't wait for this damn winter to go away. The one that never really showed up, but it hasn't left yet either.
I know. We were doing really well, and yeah, nothing bad's happened, then it just won't quit.
So the bottom line is in Connecticut, we used to get snow in November, December, January. By February, it started to lighten up. Mm-hmm. But now, many, many moons later, it's we don't get anything in November, nothing in December. It starts to get cold in January, and it usually snows in January and February like monsoons.
And March was bad.
And this year, we didn't get anything in November, nothing in January. I mean, nothing in December, nothing in January, a little bit in February, and like March is like nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Now we're into April.
Somehow.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's going on? You have some deals you're working on.
Yeah, I have a condo that I did a presentation, and just me and the guy. You weren't there, just me alone, and I did well. It was easy, and he just asked the questions you had to ask, and I answered, and I had answers for everything. It was amazing. I keep listening to you and keep listening to offers and all the little details, because someone will say something, you go, gee, I don't know what to say. If you don't, that's fine. You have to understand this. It's fine. So, I'm not sure about that, but I'll find out and let you know. Is that okay?
Right.
And you do that. Don't freak out. You can't expect to know everything. Every executive you can ever find has a team around him, everyone. So don't figure you have to be a one-man band.
Well, that's because you've changed your mental attitude about what you are.
You call me mental?
Yeah, you're mental, all right. You got to be mental to be around me, because I know I'm way mental.
Bill, I think it's only made me stronger.
Oh, man. I don't even know how that happens.
It's just no choice.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is that you're not thinking yourself as an investor. You're thinking yourself as an entrepreneur these days. And the difference is a real estate investor is there's an insinuation that there's some, that you have money, and that you're looking to create some sort of a rate of return.
Right. And
that's not the case, right? Really what you are is a real estate entrepreneur, and you're just going to take your resources and get the deal done. You're going to put together available resources to get the deal done.
Sure. I'll have to check with my realtor. Let me check with my partner. I'll see if we can do that for you. What do you need? And maybe we can structure it this way.
Right.
I'll get back to you. We'll see if I can arrange that for you. What do you need? All right, check with your tenant and then see what he's doing. Then we'll talk some more and keep moving it along.
Right.
But it's a nice place. I'm not a condo fan at all, but I walked in. The place itself was nice. The nice big hallways. There's a chandelier. Didn't smell bad. It smelled nothing. It was and it was very spacious for a small condo.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of place. I would. I can't deal with things that I don't like. Hey, you want to buy this ugly pencil? I can't. It just rubs me the wrong way.
So let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping here, and then let's come back because I want to talk about the numbers in the deal.
Sure.
Okay, so. Today's topic
Today's topic is Pete finds a condo.
No, today's topic is get Bill's tongue to work. So we're on episode number 45, Peter.
45.
Yeah, we're almost at 50.
50. Something big's got to happen. 50.
You think so?
We should throw a backyard party for all the listeners.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah, whose backyard?
Mine. I'll do it.
Yeah?
I got that fire pit that I never used. I built it last year. Come on.
Yeah?
You betcha.
All right. Well, you know how to use a fire pit.
Yeah, you put a fire in it.
Yeah, call all your friends and say I got free alcohol. And then the fire gets lit.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So episode number 45, I'm calling today's show Deal Flow and Buying with No Bank Qualifying.
Deal flow.
Deal flow.
Okay, I'm listening.
So it's like really what we should be calling it is constant deal flow.
Oh.
And no bank qualifying.
Does this have something to do with a pipeline?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I have some things I want to talk about, but
okay, I'm listening.
But
see where you're headed with this.
Let's go back to your deal though, because I think. Do you mind talking about the deal?
No, maybe I'll learn something going over with you.
So it's a $60,000 condo.
Yeah, between 50, 70. Yeah, it's a 60.
He's asking 70.
Actually started at 60.
Oh, he did start at 60. Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course we do our normal presentation,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
and that presentation got him to realize that if he sold conventionally, that he would probably net somewhere around 46,000.
That's right.
Okay, so he agreed to sell for the 46,000.
Yep.
Okay, good. So the important thing that I want to make here is that numbers are numbers, and they're just fascinating. Because you would think, well, it's a $60,000 condo. How much money am I going to make?
Well, the interesting thing about this guy is that he said to me when I got close to the numbers, talking about them, he says, look, I just want to know what I'm going to get, what I'm going to walk away with. So he at least had that idea, like, what equity can I have?
Right.
So he wasn't like, I want 60. It's not 60. It's what's left over.
Right.
So at least he was on the right page to start off with. I wasn't going to fight him on it.
Okay, so I'm past that now. I got that.
Yeah.
So I'm past that step.
Okay.
So you bought it for 46,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that you think that on a $60,000 condo, percentage-wise, there's not that much money to be made.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But we're structuring this deal. We haven't bought it yet, but we're structuring this deal so that you can pull out $29,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right? $29,000.
Yeah.
$29,000.
Now, which doesn't seem right because you had 46 and 29. It's way past
Right.
the asking price or what you might get. Yeah.
Right. So, do you want to repeat the three offers that we talked about so that your rookies can hear what we talked about, or do you want me to do it?
No, I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead. So,
Stop me if I miss something. But the first thing to do is get a low cash price. You want to tell people how I got there?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
The-
Actually, what I was thinking is that
mail
before
formula?
you start, I want you to know that this is what we call a comparative offer. It's called a comparative offer.
Yep.
In other words, you're comparing one offer against the other and kind of guiding your seller down some velvet ropes to land at the right place at the right time. And you were led into the magical nightclub door to go dancing and drinking all night. So yeah, go. If you start wherever you want, I'll just.
You're on a roll today with drinking and going. I think I need to take you out for some fun.
Oh, we're going on Sunday.
That's right. After the Guitar Expo.
Oh, there's a guitar expo on Sunday?
In the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my people. I meet people there. So, should I do the maximum allowable offer explanation too?
No, I don't think we need to do that. Yeah, we don't. Well, maximum allowable offer is your after renovated value times 70% minus repairs. So there's not much to talk about there. If they don't know, if somebody on this podcast doesn't know what that is, just go to flippinghouses.club. And there's 10 videos there that I give to you for free to show you how to do all these offers and structures and deal structuring. And anybody that hasn't been on the website recently, Peter, they should go to the website because we've added a new link, which is the beginner's checklist.
Yeah.
So I made a checklist that's like 2 or 3 pages long for anybody that's getting started, that they can actually work through the checklist and actually get started.
That's so important, Bill.
So if you haven't been to the website in a while, you should go find that link. Okay, but it's flippinghouses.club. So yeah, so we have a cash offer, which is the Mayo formula, maximum allowable offer. Mm-hmm. So what is that number?
Well, we talked about 35. I was mulling it over in my feeble little mind. You know how I am.
No. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. The number was not 35,000.
The cash offer?
Right. Your Mayo formula.
Yeah.
Was 42,000.
Yeah, it was around 4. Yeah, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The formula put me about 42, thinking I could get about 75,000 for the property with a little bit of cleanup and fix up and stuff.
Right.
So
and
put me
then
about
we
42.
decided to start at 35, to start on negotiating at 35,
Right.
so we can
Now-
come up to.
That's right.
Because Mayo is maximum. Maximum means the most. So you don't start negotiating there.
No, because it'll only go up from there.
You land there.
Yeah.
So you need to leave yourself some room to negotiate. So go ahead.
Yeah. Now here's a rookie question.
Yeah.
I'm not as bold and brave as you are, because I haven't done enough. I'm a little chicken on this stuff. So I was thinking of the numbers. He was at 46. If I say 35, it's $11,000 difference.
Yep.
And I know you want to do lows just to shake him up a little bit. I don't want to piss him off at me. Would a $9,000 difference put it at 37? Would that be enough to not look horrible but do the same thing? 'Cause
So you remember the first time you had sex?
no.
And you were really nervous. You were really nervous about how it was going to go. Do you remember that?
I can't wait for Sunday to come.
Do you remember that? You were really nervous about how it was going to go?
I'm not saying.
Okay. So,
But I understand your point, yeah.
So that's the same feeling you should have when you're making an offer. You should be
okay.
really
It should be
nervous.
Bad. It should be bad.
And you should think that, oh my God, he's going to think I'm a jerk.
Okay.
And
then 35 is a fine number
and
then.
then you work your way up.
Okay.
Because too many times I'll go back and I'll be like, I think he would have taken 35.
Uh-huh.
And I got to tell you from experience, that will linger throughout that whole deal the entire time. You'll be thinking, I could have made another $2,000.
Yeah.
I should have just asked.
Mm.
So the glorious thing is that when you ask, the most he can say is no, and you can come up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say 37 and he says yes, you can't go down.
Yeah.
So you're better off to start low at the most embarrassing. I mean, honestly, you have to be like completely, totally like butterflies in your stomach, like completely like, oh my God, he's going to throw me out. I'm totally nervous. I've made over 3,000 offers. At this point, I don't even know how many. I keep talking three. We added that up like a year ago.
Yep.
Right? And I still get butterflies. If it doesn't make you nervous and draw a little bit of a bead of sweat over your brow, it's not the right offer.
Well, I've also heard you say, I can make a cash offer, but I don't think you're going to like it. It's not my best offer, but I should give it to you.
Right.
Is that where you say that too?
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay to preface it where it sucks.
Right.
But you're an investor or an entrepreneur, and you got to make some money in here somewhere.
Right. So go ahead. So we're going to start with 35.
He got 35.
Yeah.
And when he looks at me like, no, I want 46 or whatever, no, that's too low. Then we dick around that a little bit. Do I say anything like, what's the best you can do or anything at that point, or just leave it if he says no?
Well, he's gonna.
Because I know I'm going to go for another number in a minute, a higher number,
Right.
a different deal entirely with a different number. But do I stay here a little bit to see if he goes, okay, I'll take 37, or I'll do 38? Then I'm happy with that.
No, you don't need to do that.
Okay,
Because it's a comparative sale. So.
All right, we're going to wind up in the middle. Now I remember. Okay, so we finish that. If he says yes, he says no.
At the 35.
Yeah, 35. I go, okay. And then we look at each other. You go, well, how about if I do this? And then you do the other offer.
Right.
So because this one's free and clear, I know from all the numbers of his expenses and his rent that he's making $449, $450 a month profit in his pocket.
Yep.
So I can say to him, well, how about if we do it this way? What if I paid you the $400 a month that you get anyways? Or close to what you get, the $400 a month. We'll do owner financing.
Okay, I'm flunking you.
What did I do wrong? Okay.
I'm flunking you.
Go ahead.
So it's I can give you. Well, let's role play it. How about we do that? How about we just role play it?
Oh, yeah.
And then I just do the offer for you.
Because you're supposed to say, well, I can give you the 46.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. So I'm the guy.
So let's role play it. So
I'm not taking no lousy 35,000. Get out of my Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, Pete.
Yeah.
Would you consider maybe 50,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I gave you 50,000, would you sell me the condo today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Here's how it works.
Oh.
What I would do is I would actually have you write me a note, probably for 7 years or 10 years, and don't get nervous because it doesn't always take that long. Because the way I'm going to sell the property is I'm going to actually put a rent-to-own person in the property, and I'm going to get them qualified for a mortgage. And I usually do them in 2-year increments, so it's very possible I can cash you out in 12 to 18 months. But if that person doesn't perform, then I need to be able to put a second person in there.
Yeah.
Now remember, the only time I get paid, the only time I get my money, is when this person cashes out. So I'm like really motivated,
right,
to like get this person cashed out. So the fact that I'm so motivated, means that you're going to get your money sooner than later. But I want to make sure that I have time in case somebody doesn't perform.
Yeah.
So what would happen is you would actually instead of being the landlord, you would now become the bank.
Moving up in the world, eh?
Yeah. So let me ask you this question: Do you ever have a mortgage or have a mortgage now?
No, I own the condo free and clear.
No, but any other mortgage? Have you ever had a mortgage that can be?
Well, I have. I have a 3-bedroom house in South Windsor. Yeah.
You do. Okay. So if you have a mortgage on that property.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So if your toilet overflows or there's sewage in your basement, do you call the mortgage company and tell them come fix it?
No, they'll laugh at me.
Exactly. That's your position on this house when I get done with you.
Oh, see, I'm off of it. I'm off.
You're just the bank. The only thing you get is your money.
Oh, I like that.
And ironically enough, I took a look at your numbers, and I saw that you're making somewhere. By the time we take the taxes and the insurance and all that stuff out of your payment, you're making around $450 a month.
Yeah.
I think it would be surprising to you to know that I could probably pay you around $400 a month. So is it worth giving up $49 a month to not have to deal with all the toilets and all the problems you're dealing with?
Oh, hell yeah. Seriously? What do you do with it then? How do you take care of it?
I'm going to sell the property to a person that has 81% of this country is not mortgageable, and 19% is. So I'm going to go chase the 81%, and I'm going to get them mortgageable. I'm going to help them become qualified for a mortgage.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm their big brother. I help them.
And how do you make your money?
When I sell the property. There is going to be, because you're selling to me, I'm going to sell for more than $50,000.
Yeah.
Probably the $60,000, but I got to wait.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not taking a big percentage, but I am taking a percentage, and I am doing a lot of work. I'm the guy that's going to have to worry about the toilets. And now, what he doesn't know is we're going to give the person that's buying from us a lease that gets them in charge of the toilets and the water payments and all that kind of stuff.
Right, because they're not just renting it; they're leasing it with the option to buy. So they're acting as the owner potentially. So they're acting in that role.
And that's how the conversation should go.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that all when it's there, but when I'm talking, like sometimes the pieces don't fit because what's happened, and you need to know this when you're listening. The way Bills explains it, and it's real, is that there's all these steps to do. And in the beginning, you can barely figure out the first steps. Like, how do I write the letter to mail to people, And what do I say on the phone when they call me? Then what do I do when I'm in the house? So you wind up getting the first couple of steps figured out after a while. Then you're kind of working on step 2 and 3, and you fumble with that till you can get that done. Then you find yourself in the house with yourself trying to do this, and you fumble, and you finally get that figured out. So I'm kind of at the step where I can get this far at least. So.
Right. All right, so let's continue our conversation.
Have no fear. You get there.
So let's continue our conversation. So say no to the $50,000. And your objection should be, I don't want to wait 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I like the $50,000, but I don't want to wait 7 years.
Okay. So I got another idea. So $35,000 is too low, right? Are you sure that's too low? I mean, honestly, I got a big bag of cash.
No.
You sure?
Yeah. See, I don't. Here's my problem with you. I don't need the money right now.
Okay.
I would rather wait for my 46 than take 35 now.
Okay.
That's $11,000 difference.
Right. So if I paid you the 46, then you would be happy.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we do this? How about we pay 46 and I shorten the term up instead of paying the 50, because I would pay 50. Actually, my real number is 42. If I pay you 42,000 right now, we can write a note for 12 months. I can pay you within 12 months.
Wait. What happened to 46?
If I have to pay that, I will. I prefer to pay 42. So if I'm gonna pay up, if I'm gonna pay you all cash, my number is 35,000.
Okay.
But if you're willing to let me wait 12 months, I'll give you an extra 7,000.
Oh, how do you do that then? How do you do it in 12 months?
Because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in. I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to renovate it a bit, and then I'm going to just put it back on the market, and I'm going to sell it. And when I sell it, I'm going to pay you your money. And I know you're out of state. I know that you're not here to do this. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to have to sell it for less money because it's a cash deal. Because somebody's going to have to pay me up front, and I'm going to have to fix it up. So in other words, I'm going to have to make it presentable.
Yeah.
right? See, if I rent it, I don't have to be as picky about that.
Yeah, I can see that. But a full sale, people want it nice.
Right.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that was my concern too.
Yeah.
That's why when I did the numbers, I took some off because I know people are going to want some money back because I know my kitchen's not new and all that.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so you have to realize that I'm going to have to pay the insurance, I'm going to have to pay the taxes, I'm going to have to pay all the things while I'm doing the renovation, so that might be a month or two, you know what I mean? I have the electric bill and the heat bill and the condo fees and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? So I have some expense as well as the cost to do the renovation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, 42, we got a deal. We can sign documents today. We're on the road. And you don't have to consider, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to worry about people traipsing through your house. You don't have to worry about anything. We can close. I'll get my attorney on the case, send you some documents. You can review them. We could do a closing with you. I think he's in Florida, right?
No, he's in South Windsor.
Oh,
this is a local guy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So we can have whatever you want. Whoever review your documents and it's done.
Awesome. Okay, it's a deal, Pete and Bill.
But you see how we did that? We did the low offer,
Mm-hmm.
we did the high offer, and then we did something in between. Now the important thing that I want to voice out here is that what did I do while I was doing it? When I was making the cash offer, what did I do while I was doing it?
Oh, you're only doing the cash offer.
Right. And then when I was making so that was considered number 5 of our 7 systems, of our 7 offers. That was a number 5 offer.
Yeah. Cash.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, go to flippinghouses.club. I'm not going to explain this stuff here because this is not even part of today's podcast, and we're like doing it. So go to flippinghouses.club. All right. So we did a number 5 offer, which is cash or a flip. It's actually a rehab retail deal.
Yeah.
Then we made a number 7 offer, which was owner financing.
Right.
Right. Then we came back and actually made another number 5 offer. The difference is instead of just offering him cash, because think of it this way: if we pay $35,000, right? Do we have to go
40? Then it would be 42.
No, if we pay $35,000,
Yeah.
right? How are we going to get that money?
Private money lender.
And how much are we going to pay?
9%.
Okay, so let's do that. Let me get my calculator.
But don't you need to do 42? Oh, we're buying for 42. Okay. I was thinking 46 for a minute. I get it. Yeah, so if we borrow $35,000 with private money lending, where are we?
So it's $3,150
Okay.
in interest. Okay.
Yep.
So technically, the offer should really be $38,000, but $35,000 was low. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had in my head that like $38,000-$39,000 a comfortable number.
Yeah.
So if I add the $3,000 to it, that's where I came up with the 42.
That's right.
So I started at 35, thinking that 38, 39,000 was like, bam, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at 39,000, add 3,000, you're at 42.
That's right.
Because I put the hard money in there. Because you're going to have to pay that anyways.
That's right, and it's easier to get it from him because it's in the house.
So I want to clarify something. Even if you had a check that you could write for $42,000,
Yeah.
okay? Even if you could write the check, you had the money in your bank account, you had it in your checking account right now,
Yeah.
you still need to think like you don't have money, and you got to pay the 9%. You still got to put that money in the deal. Whether you pay yourself the 9% or somebody else, I don't care, but you should make it part of your deal structure. And if you have the money, then you should be making 9% on your own money.
Yeah, because if you took it out of the bank, you'd be losing whatever interest you could get or whatever, however else you could be investing it, which would be 9%
Right.
because that's what the numbers we use. And if you didn't use it, you could lend it to your friend to buy a, lend it to you to buy a house, you lend it to me to buy a house. It should be 9. That makes sense too.
Right.
That makes
Or
sense.
you take it out of your IRA,
Yeah.
or your retirement fund. But the point is that eventually someday when you grow up, and you're not in college anymore, and you got a real big job, and you have a lot of money, you'll realize that lending money is just as profitable as actually flipping houses. You make just as much money as flipping houses.
Just
in most
as much?
cases. In most cases, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to realize an average flipper only makes like $15,000 a deal.
Yeah, that was surprising. Because I know we make more, you've made more. We did better on the last house we did, and my realtor said exactly that. 15, 20, you're doing well.
Yeah.
So when I talked to him yesterday, by the way, I told him how much he made. He's like, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So I gave him a little more belief and confidence in us.
Yeah.
Because I'm still the new guy to him.
Right. Okay, so the reason why I spend 25 minutes on this deal is because today's show is deal flow and buying with no bank qualifying. Did we just buy with no bank qualifying?
Yeah. Well, no bank qualifying on our end.
Right.
We didn't even need the bank.
Exactly.
I was thinking about it as like the guy buying the house or leasing the house, but on our end, we don't need the bank either.
Right.
Both sides. Ooh, boy.
Well, that's the reason why we do this, because if we buy no bank qualifying, then we offer it to our buyer, right?
Yeah.
So it starts with our seller.
Yeah.
Okay. So deal flow, what I mean by deal flow is just plain old advertising. Your marketing.
To get deals.
Right. Because what happens, in fact, I'm going through it right now, what happens is when you're busy and you're doing a renovation, hint, 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 hint.
What?
Hint, hint.
What?
Hint, hint, hint.
Gee, Bill, what are you trying to say?
When you're doing a renovation, you stop your marketing. You get through that renovation, and it takes you 2 or 3 months to find another property.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the real magic of marketing, and I go through this with my marketing clients all the time, is what's the best time to market? When you're really busy.
How about always?
Yeah. But mostly when you're really busy, and most people don't do that. They wait till they're slow to do the marketing, and then it takes 6 or 8 weeks to have the marketing work.
Well, that's when you're a one-man band, But ideally, you would have 2 or 3 people working together, right? Because, I mean, I can see what you're doing. You've got 2 houses to renovate. You got 2 on the market. You're a little bit busy.
Right.
I'm
looking to buy something.
Huh?
I'm looking to buy something because I'm thinking that in 2 months from now, I'm not going to have anything to do.
Sure. Well, you know better. You've been through this. I mean, right. I was doing the house in Newington. It kept me so busy. I couldn't think. I was still trying to do it, but it wasn't the same.
Right.
It's like now I don't have a house. Like I'm really working harder. I made signs. I got flyers, and I'm all over the place with this thing.
Right.
Sure.
So deal flow, just plain old deal flow, because everybody that's on this call wants to be a real estate investor.
Yeah. Unless
Stop.
you have $500,000, you're not.
Right. So I wish I had a siren. Stop the show, folks. Stop the show.
That's what we're missing, sound effects. Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah, because you're not a real estate investor. You're actually, what you should be if you want to succeed in this business, is a marketing genius.
Yeah.
What you really should be, because you're really in the business of marketing, doing real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So you're marketing real estate or marketing your entrepreneurship.
Yeah, your services or your skills. Right. I mean, what isn't? I mean, all the hamburger joints that are still advertising all over the place, they're not selling hamburgers. They're marketing so they can sell hamburgers. They spend a lot of time doing that.
Right.
Like, we know where they are.
Right.
They're all over the streets. Why do they have to market? They still do.
Right. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that any kind of marketing, I don't care right now. Doesn't matter. I mean, we've talked about this in many other shows. What kind of marketing, this, that, the other thing. There's all different ways to do it. And I mean, I'm talking all the way from driving for dollars to direct mail like we do.
You've never used that term before when I'm around. Driving for dollars. Is that looking for properties?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually I bash it.
Yeah, that's why you threw me off.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bad thing.
It is.
Yeah.
But that's because you work with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm being arrogant, but I'm much more advanced on the marketing. What makes me more advanced? I spend $7,000 to $9,000 for probably a month for probably 5 years. So there's just certain things I just don't want to waste my time on.
Sure.
Now, driving for dollars is awesome. If you're going to do driving for dollars, which means you drive around with a notepad, or you create an ant farm, which is people driving for you.
Yep.
Okay. If you're going to do that, I strongly suggest that you take the addresses and whatever other information you have and actually go onto a website like Upwork.com or any one of those sites like that and hire a virtual assistant and have the virtual assistant do the homework for you.
Oh, to find the owner?
Yeah, or just get data. Just figure out, does it have a list pendants? Is it got code violations? Is it there's a bunch of questions you might want to ask.
Sure.
But actually create a checklist, and the virtual assistant would go through that checklist and just see what they can find. And nowadays, most of it's done online anyways.
Right.
I mean, I was on the phone with a coaching client last night at 9 or 9:30 last night, and he's got a piece of property. He called me all day, and I just couldn't get to him. So finally, just before I decide to like call it a day, I give him a shout, and we're like online, and we couldn't see the deeds and stuff, but you know he's got a piece of property that we were talking about on our coaching call on Monday night, and you know he called me immediately after he listened to the recording because he couldn't be on the call. He listened to the recording on Tuesday morning, and he started blowing my phone up because I said on the call that his communication sucked because I couldn't read the prospect suspect for him, and I'm like trying to evaluate it, and it's like shit's missing, and that irks the crap out of me because I teach these guys how to do different. So that was the first thing he was trying to handle is how to handle that. But more importantly, we went online and all the title work. Now we couldn't see the titles, but we could see a chain of titles anyways, because the deal he was working with was actually with a guy from Florida. Maybe that's where I got the Florida thing from. A guy from Florida, and he foreclosed on the person that was in there.
He did what?
He foreclosed on the person that was actually so he was the bank.
Yeah.
So it was an REO for him.
Sure.
You know, even though he's not a bank.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, that was pretty interesting. So there's not some big mad secret to my conversation today, other than constant deal flow is your success. Okay. If you've been to flippinghouses.club and you watched the 10 videos that we talk about all the time, okay, which by the way, those 10 free videos are very, very informative, but realize there's more than just that. There's more than just those 10 free videos. I mean, you need to make sure you understand the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to send anybody up here thinking that they're going to go watch these 10 free videos and all of a sudden be like me. You know?
No, but can I say why I think those are important? Because when I first started going to your meetings, well over a year and a half ago or so, that was the first thing you were talking about. And at first I thought it was strange a little bit because how do I even get there? I'm not even in the house. How do I get to making offers? How do I find the houses and all that? But this is the heart and soul of it. Once you get there, this is how you do the work. Right. This is how you structure it. And if you don't have that, you wind up in the house with like, hi, how are you? See you later. Right. So that's the heart and soul of it. But then everything else appends around it before and after.
Yeah. So the reason why I start with deal structuring is because I want you to get the concept that there isn't just one offer. I'll give you this much dough and that's it.
Yeah.
That there are actually 7 offers. And there are more. I mean, I delineate 7. There's actually about 9 offers that I use, 9 or 10. Because I do things like bond for deeds and things like that are land contracts that are a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, those are the 7 main offers that I use. Okay? And you have to understand the concept before you can actually get how valuable it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I told you yesterday. What did I tell you yesterday about the Realtor?
Oh, that was interesting.
Was in a meeting, right?
Oh,
was in a meetup, and I had a huge realization. I mean, I was like floating. So we have a Realtor that's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, or a decent friend of mine. And he's talking about his agency and blah, 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 you know, bragging like they normally do. And he says that it's against the law. It's against the law. Not I can't do it. It's like it's against the law.
Whoa.
To present the buyer or the seller's motivation. So in other words, if I am selling a house and he's listing it for me,
yep.
He is not allowed to expose my motivation.
So why is this guy selling the house? Oh, can't say.
Yeah.
Divorced or he's getting relocated. So it's like they can't give you any ammo
right.
or any. Oh, he's got to move quick. Well, we can get a better price. So it's just the house, no motivation.
Or more importantly, you know, like in this particular deal, we were talking about, you know, they're asking 60. We made an offer for 46. If you knew what his motivation is, you might say, well, just tell him to sit on it, and when he's ready, let me know.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you don't know his motivation, you might come up to 48.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, he would have more bargaining power.
Right. Because
you don't know what the situation is. If you know he's got a problem, you might think you have more bargaining power, and then it could be perceived as unfair.
Right.
But when we do it, it's different.
Yeah.
We don't do it like as a way to needle the guy down. It's a way to find out what their problem is so we can help them sort it out and fix it.
Well, we need to figure out how much money they're going to pay us to solve their problem.
Yeah.
And that's done with equity. The
Yeah.
way they're paying us is by giving us equity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't buy a house, if you buy a house today and you don't have immediate equity today or sometime soon after, you didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the purpose of doing all this. Because
Yeah.
equity is your profit.
We don't buy on speculation.
Right. Or you know, what is the word they use? I can't think of it now. I just went blank.
For buying now and selling later.
Holding the houses and oh my goodness, I'll think of it later.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciation. We don't buy on appreciation.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So
I thought that wasn't it.
We're making money today, or we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you don't know what tomorrow's going to be.
Right.
If you make money today and you get appreciation, you'll win twice. So
Right.
why not try to structure it so you can't lose?
Right.
Right.
So deal flow is vital because if you don't have deal flow, then what happens is you start trying to convert suspects into prospects, and you start making mind deals.
Yeah. Who's desperate then?
Yeah. Right. So one of the most powerful things that I use personally in negotiating is a simple law, which is the guy that wants it the least has the most power.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now you could want it really bad, but your appearance can't be that way when you're dealing with the person.
Sure.
Right. So if you come off desperate or if you come off must-have-y,
Mm-hmm.
right, then you won't negotiate a good deal.
Nope.
So what better way to do that for one of my students or for me, right, than to know that you got 5 deals in your desk at home and that this deal, being here making this offer is almost inconvenient for you.
Yeah.
You know, take it or leave it, buddy. I got 5 more to deal, and they're better deals than this. You know what I mean? And I'm being facetious, but if you don't come across that way, then your deal flow will shrink.
Sure.
Right. And probably the biggest problem that I have with any newcomer is I don't have capital. Right? I can't do this because I don't have capital.
Well, that's why most people are doing this. I need money. The less they have, the more they want. So they
Right.
figure real estate's a magic pill.
Right. So if you follow the 7 ways that we buy houses, which is the no bank qualifying, because there's not one of them in there that we need a bank for, because we use private money on the ones that we do need money.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only place that we need money is on number 5, which is wholesale rehab. I'm sorry, retail rehab,
Mm-hmm.
and number 6, which is wholesale. And actually, we don't even money for wholesale. So the only place we need money is on a rehab deal.
Right.
Right. So now let me see if I get this straight. Let's just kind of summarize this. Okay. Here I go on a rant. So
Let it all hang
say
out.
what you want to say now because I'm going to go on a rant. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bill.
A rant. So let me see if I get this straight. So we decide that we want to get into the real estate game. Right? We decide that we watched HGTV and our wife convinced us that would be really fun to renovate a house. I'm dying to renovate a house. I have students like this.
We won't get divorced.
I'm dying to renovate this house. I want to create this house. I want to make a gray wall. I want to pick out the curtains. I want to pick out the rug. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Spent freaking 3.5 hours in Home Depot yesterday buying appliances for 2 houses, and it was not fun. I would have much rather been home on my computer. Okay? So, which, by the way, I bought a gas grill, too.
Yay!
I actually spent some money on myself for a change.
Yay!
I bought a gas grill.
Nice.
I kept telling her, let me see, I got to check it. She goes, what are we checking for, Bill? I got to check and make sure I can cook my hot dogs on here. She said, really? I said, oh, yeah, I like hot dogs.
Even the jumbos?
Yeah,
Wow.
hot dogs.
Okay.
I cook everybody else steak, but I got to eat my hot dogs. And I said to her, looking at the grill, I said, I don't understand. She goes, what's the matter? I said, where the hell am I going to put my cigar? That's too small. I need to have a big one. She said, you smoke your cigar while you're cooking? I said, yeah.
How do you keep from mixing them up?
I don't know.
I mean, did you ever smoke a hot dog and cook a cigar? Just checking. After one of those bottles of scotches I've heard about.
Only you, Peter, would ask a question like that. I completely forgot what we were talking about now.
Well, you bought all the appliances
my
at Home
rants.
Depot.
My
See,
rants.
I'd rather be, you'll go back. I'd rather be at Home Depot buying appliances than being on the computer, so let me know next time.
My rant. So back to my rant. So why would you want to go, if you don't have any money, why would you want to go do a rehab? It's the hardest damn deal to do. And, by the way, I just got done telling you, right, that you're going to deal with a non-motivated buyer. You don't know the motivation of your seller.
Mm.
I said buyer. I meant seller.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the way to make money in real estate, I'm telling you, honest to God, I mean, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. I've done thousands of offers. I've bought hundreds of houses. I'm telling you, with no question in my mind, the only way to make money in real estate is to make offers to motivated sellers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Find a motivated seller and talk to him. That's all you have to do. It's really not that hard. People make it confusing. And finding the motivated seller, people may say, is a little bit difficult. But if you have good deal flow, which is what we're talking about today,
mm-hmm.
right? And deal flow, by the way, is nothing more than you get letters out, you get signs out, you get an ad on Craigslist. I mean, you can do like we were talking about driving for dollars, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just do something to find a motivated seller. Okay? And like driving for dollars, the reason why I poo-poo it is because I never had a house sign the closing documents.
What? You haven't?
It's always a person. So why am I going to go look for houses? I need to look for people.
So the house has an owner?
Yeah.
That does all the work for them.
Well, let's put it this way. Here I am, and I'm bitching about Home Depot, but the truth of the matter is when I tell you this, you're going to be like, Bill, shut up. You're going to stab me in the eye with your pencil. Get your pencil out because you're going to stab me in the eye, okay? It's over here. I took it off the table.
Oh, I found my pen. Let me get the.
I go in, and of course they all know me there because I buy a lot of stuff there, right? So I go, hey, Bill. So I'm waiting for my girl. Her name is Kelsey. So I'm waiting for her, right? And guy says to me, I walk over, and there's some guy in the register, some guy that I normally see there. I said, hey, guess what? You're working too hard. I said, you look too serious behind that computer. Smile, would you? It's not that bad. And he smiles. He says, yeah, you're right. He says, you Bill? I said, yeah. I said, you're the guy that flips the houses, right? I said, yeah. He says, I got to talk to you. I said, okay. Yeah, he says, my mother's in one of them assisted living houses. I said, oh, yeah, I just went through that with my mother-in-law. We talked about that for a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, it's $160 a day. I said, oh, she got away cheap. My mother-in-law's at $323 a day. But I got to tell you, they treat her like a queen. He goes, yeah, so we go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
He says, yeah, I got my sisters, they want to sell the house because she needs some money. But the house is really a knockdown house. He says, I'm a builder. He says, I've been building property. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't hear that part. That's why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Fast forward.
He
Wait
says,
till he's done.
what I would do is I would knock down the house. It's in Cheshire. I would knock down the house and I put two houses on there.
Huh?
Because it's got like a lot of land.
Huh?
In Cheshire. Like Cheshire's like a good area.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice town.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my sister, she don't want to. How many siblings are there? Oh, there's 4. I go through the gamut of questions, right? Oh, okay. You guys been through probate? Yeah. Well, whose name is the deed in? Oh, it's in my sister's name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you already been to probate? Yeah, I think so. She's the one that deals with all that. Can I talk to her? Oh, yeah, she wants to talk to you. We want to sell the house. You know, I would be honored to just come out and look at the house and make an offer. I love looking at houses. That's what it's like. That's like the most pleasurable thing I can do in life is look at a house. Even if I don't buy your house, we could still part as friends. But I would love to come out. And here's the thing. I'll look at the house. I bought a lot of houses. Kessa told you that, right? He says, yeah. She says, you're really active. He said, yeah. So here's the thing. If I come out and look at your house and I don't buy your house, I'm sure I can give you some advice or do something to help you to sell your house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no loss. You know, we spend a little bit of time together. We'll check things out, and either I can make you some offers or I can help you, like, sell your house. You know, maybe I'll know somebody or maybe I'll give you some advice or tell you what to do, and maybe you didn't think of it. Oh, yeah, he says, you're right. Okay, I'm going to call her this afternoon. I'll let you know. Right? That happens to me all the time. But why? Because I have constant outflow. Because people know what I do. They know I'm a professional house buyer.
Yep.
Because I've let a lot of people know. And that is deal flow. I mean, I didn't expect to have that conversation yesterday. And maybe the guy never calls me.
Mm-hmm.
But have one of those conversations a day. One of those a day.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Something.
Something will happen. But it's also notable, and if people got to listen to you, there's always a factor where you're trying to help the other guy.
Right.
And I don't know if people have that thought at all when they start this.
Right.
It's like, what can I get out of this? How can I make some money? Yeah, of course. But you have to help the other guy, and you're really good at that. And you let people know that, too. I've gotten us into houses because I tell them exactly that.
Right.
Whether it's me or you, because if you're going to be, Bill really knows his stuff. And if we don't buy it, he's going to help you at something. And it always happens because they don't know.
Right.
They don't know.
Just listening to the 10 videos I have online, you're way ahead of most people.
Well, who knows that there's more than one way to buy a house?
I'm telling you that. And I
Seriously.
I could travel the country and I could become a guru, which, I don't know, maybe someday we'll do that, but not today. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the reason why. I work for a company out of California for 6 years. I travel 40 weeks a year, 150,000 miles a year. Been there, done that. I'm very happy in my little cape here in Yalesville, and have my wife giving me a hard time about what I got to do next, and seeing her every single day, instead of like, see you later, sweetheart, I'll be back in 4 days. Or, see you later, sweetheart, I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know? I'd much rather her giving me a hard time, which she does. She's a good wife. About my cigars, and I gotta do this. I gotta register the car for the kid, and I gotta. Okay, I got it, but I'd much rather do that. I mean, this morning I got up. My in-laws are here, right? They're from out of state. I had breakfast with my in-laws. I came downstairs in my stocking feet. I'm in my stocking feet right now. I haven't gone outside yet. I don't even know what the weather is outside. Right? And I started my day. And I'll work with you until probably noon or 1 o'clock today, and then maybe I'll go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I don't care what anybody says. For me, that's an awesome life.
A lot of people would rather be home than at the job.
Yeah.
I think that's why most of them are here listening to you, Bill.
Yeah. So the point is that the only way I could do that is with deal flow.
Yeah.
You have to have deal flow.
Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
What do you suggest for us one-man bands or husband-wife teams when you get involved, like you do get involved, and it's hard to do that while you're doing the other thing? You have any suggestions how to keep it going when you're really running around like a crazy person with a property or two? Because besides forgetting, like, oh yeah, we better do that. I mean, physically, how do you keep it all going?
Okay, I'm not 100% sure I understand the question, but I'm going to take a stab at it. Okay.
Yeah, when you're just too busy doing your rehabs and whatevers.
Okay, so I have a very personal question, Peter. Do you take a crap every day?
I try to, Bill.
Okay,
I try
good.
to.
Do you take a shower every day?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, do you eat every day?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Do you spend some time with your wife every week?
Yep.
All right. Do you, I don't know, there's certain things, maybe you go to the gym every week. So how does that stuff happen? Why is that stuff in your life?
You either have to or you really want to.
Okay, so you just need to schedule yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read a really good book? Read Dan Kennedy's book on time management.
Okay.
You read that book, that's a phenomenal book.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Kennedy's a good writer anyways. He's a bit antagonistic, but he's definitely got he's got a lot of knowledge.
That comes out in his writing?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, he's a great writer, though. But read the book. There's others, too, but read Dan Kennedy's book on time management.
Yeah.
Just Google Dan Kennedy. He's got a whole bunch of books.
Okay.
And it's an easy read.
Yeah.
It's something you're reading within a week.
Well, for now, I'll take your answers. If it's important enough, you'll figure something out.
But the point is that most people, well, let's put it this way. Let's do some math. So if you have 24 hours in a day, right, and you multiply it by 7,
yep,
how much is that?
168.
Okay, good. So let's see here. Let's get my calculator. 168 hours in a week.
Yep.
Right? So if you were to sleep 8 hours a day, right, is that enough time?
I wish I got 8 hours sleep.
Okay, 8 times 7.
It's 56.
Okay, so if you take 168 minus 56, okay, that leaves you 112 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you got a 40-hour week job. Is that fair?
Right.
Okay. Oh, I did that wrong. 168 minus 56 minus 40
Mm-hmm.
is 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know what else. What else you want to put in there?
Showering, shaving, cooking, shopping.
How much time you need that? 20
Oh.
hours.
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
Maybe more, but
What else?
takes
Takes you that long to shower and take
shower, shop, cook. There's 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about 3 hours a day, maybe.
What else?
Personal time.
Okay. How much time you need there?
12.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just making it up.
What else?
Go and see mom. Miscellaneous. The stuff that you don't think is going to happen, but you don't plan on, but it happens anyway. So I don't know, some random hours here and there.
So what?
Another 10, 15 hours, just random. Who the hell knows what was going to happen? Call the insurance company, argue about your health coverage, look for new dentists.
I took 15 hours.
Okay, what's left?
25.
25. Okay, take 5 off for commuting.
Okay.
Well, there is some time someplace then. And it's probably spent watching TV.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Even Donald Trump, who's now president,
Yeah.
can do this.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that this is what I notice with most people, especially you and my wife and my daughter, okay, and me to some degree, is you tend to do what you want to do instead of what you have to do.
Mm.
You know, like you're like a hobby horse. You know, you go from here to here, and you do the things that are fun. Okay, instead of I need to buy a house. What do I need to do?
Mm-hmm.
And doing something you may not want to do.
Mm.
Okay, like for example, one of the things that I don't like to do, which I'm going to do today, is go put signs out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't want to drive around for an hour putting signs out.
Yeah.
To me, that's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the lesson. It's either somebody needs to put signs out. So it's either you do it or you hire an assistant, which, by the way, you know what the job description of a hired assistant is?
Well,
all the things you don't want to do.
Oh,
in other
sure.
words, your shit list becomes their job description.
Yeah.
Okay? So you just make a list of all the things you don't want to do and then hire somebody else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. And when I say hire, I mean you can hire your kid to do it or whatever, you know. But make sure it gets done and it's acted like a job. Make sure that there's some valuable exchange so that they want to do it every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe like you'll give your kid a tank full of gas every week if you put signs out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You're doing that with your family. The daughters are helping, and I got my wife helping me, and I'm trying to get her to do more and get more involved time-wise. And then I have a couple of sons I'm trying to pull in too. So you got resources around you because all the books I read say don't do it. Don't do anything alone.
No.
I mean, I called you right away when I was thinking real estate. I'll call Bill.
Yeah.
You know, get some support.
Right.
Make a team somehow.
Right. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah.
What was the question again?
How do you keep the promotion land going when you're busy doing the actual work that you get yourself into? But it's, prioritize. I know there's some systems. We use some automated stuff here and there.
Yeah.
That might be fancy. Don't do that to start out, but there is automated.
So if you made a doctor's appointment, would you keep it?
Yes, sir.
If you made an appointment with your attorney, would you keep it?
Yes, sir.
You made an appointment with your accountant, would you keep it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're more important than all three of those people.
Yay.
So why aren't you keeping appointments with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So make an appointment with yourself. Every Tuesday night from 5 till 6, I'm going to do blah.
Mm-hmm.
And write it on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, you tell me all the time that I'm busy. I don't feel like I'm busy. You're like, I don't want to call you on because I'm busy. Really, the truth of the matter is there are certain times of the day where I just don't take phone calls because I'm trying to write copy or I'm trying to write a presentation or do a webinar, which, by the way, you should go to flippinghouses.club/schedule because I've been doing a lot of webinars lately.
Mm-hmm.
And also another announcement I'd like to make while I'm on a rant here. Very, very, very soon, like the next couple we're on episode 45. I think on episode 46, we're going to start filming us doing the podcast.
I can't come in my pajamas anymore?
No.
You're going to have to put shoes on?
Right. Well, no, I don't have to put
No,
shoes
they're
on.
under the table.
They're under the table.
Just shirts.
But we're going to actually, we have a YouTube channel, which is called flippinghouses.club. No, it's Flipping Houses. I'm sorry. Flipping Houses for Rookies. There you go.
Okay.
On YouTube, it's Flipping Houses for Rookies. And right now the podcasts are on there, but we're going to stop putting the podcast on there. And we're going to actually have you and I, like right now we're recording this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to actually have a video so they can watch us recording it. It's just another media.
So do I still keep looking at you, or do I have to look at the camera now?
You can look at whatever you want, as long as you keep talking.
Okay.
But the point that I'm trying to make here is that deal flow is very important.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting deal flow, it's because your time blocking is off, and you're not keeping your word with yourself. You're lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So just make an appointment, like we do with the podcast. We know we do the same thing every week, same time every week. And if I can't be there, then we make some other arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can't be there, we make some other arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't make that commitment to yourself, because I'm telling you right now, most people have 40 or 50 hours a week where they can do whatever they want, and they don't think that because they don't use their time well. And it's because they take too much personal time, or because they don't actually see. Here's the thing. This is what I know. I've run many businesses, and I know this is a staple. You only manage what you measure. You only manage what you measure. So if you're not measuring your time, you won't manage it. So most people don't measure their time because it just kind of happens. It's kind of like air. You don't think, oh, I just took a great breath. Oh, I just took another great breath. Oh, this air feels so good. You don't think that every single breath.
That's
you know
funny.
what I mean?
Yeah. No.
The time is the same way. It's like water. You know what I mean? You drink water and you're like, oh, I'm thirsty, and then you drink the water and you're like, oh, okay, that feels better. Okay, and you just think nothing of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that you got to go to the bathroom and there's a toilet 50 feet away. 100 years ago that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? You used to leave to wipe yourself, not toilet paper. You know what I mean? It's like the luxuries we have, and I'm being gross today, but the luxuries we have in today's society allows us to forget how good we got it.
Sure.
So you need to kind of get out of that cocoon a little bit, because I'm going to tell you that this is not a hard business, but it becomes very hard if you're doing busy work that doesn't get you a result.
Mm.
And the reason why you and I have been so successful, and the reason why people listen to this podcast and actually buy houses, is because they extract some of, because I like to keep things down to like senior datums, like main pieces of information that I operate off of.
Yeah.
And the other information, I don't even think about it. My mother tells me, you're so horrible. Your wife's talking to you and you don't even listen to her, which is true sometimes. But I don't retain some things when she's telling me blah, 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 her sister or mother. I'm like, do I need to know that?
Yeah.
It's trauma.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll remember that at 5 o'clock on Saturday night, I got to have dinner with my mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good, but that's how I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I try to keep senior information in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you like, we were just talking about deal flow and deal structuring, right? So when I'm talking, in fact, I just did a workshop not too long ago about the conversation you have when you're in the house. And I extract information that's important to making the offer. Because the whole conversation, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get information to structure an offer. So why not survey the person and find out what they want and then just give it to them? I mean, I don't know why that's so difficult. But
Well,
that's no bank qualifying.
What?
That's no bank qualifying. Ask them what they want and then give it to them. That's no bank qualifying.
Wait, how's that no bank qualifying? I lost something there.
Yeah. Think about it for a second. What offer are you going to make?
What kind of house? Where are we starting?
What kind of offer are you going to make? Anybody.
Oh, well, first you have to see. First, you have to see what offers you could make just by the numbers. But you're going to try to find the offer depending on what they need.
Right.
Am I anywhere close to what you're looking for?
Well, no. I want you to answer it honestly, which you are. Right.
What?
So the truth of the matter is this: does it matter how much they want for the house, and does it matter how much you got to pay for it? If you do some of this stuff, I mean, look at owner financing.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, you could overpay a house $20,000, $30,000 and get principal-only payments with no interest, and you're way ahead.
Yeah.
Because if you bought that house on a regular conventional mortgage, you would pay 3 times what you're paying. That's the trick. How much did you pay for your house? Oh, $180,000. Oh, okay. How long of a mortgage you got? 30 years. Oh, okay. You plan on staying there 30 years? Yeah. Oh, okay. So at 100, how much is your payment? Oh, it's $1,300 a month. Oh, really? Take $1,300 a month and multiply it by 360, because that's how many payments you're going to make. That's how much you paid for the house, not the 180. Because you're writing checks every month for 13 whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So 1,300 times 360 is what you really paid for the house. So if I'm paying $20,000 or $30,000 extra for the house, am I paying a lot? No, I'm not.
No, as long as you can stretch it out on terms and get your money in the long run. Not a cash overnight deal, but it's stretched out. You're totally fine.
So even if you got a guy that says to me, "Oh, okay, I got a $180,000 house. Okay, it's worth $180,000. There's no equity in there. Oh, okay, so I got a $2,200 a month payment. Oh, because I got a 15-year mortgage. Oh, okay, you think that's not a deal, right? No. Well, I'll tell you what. What I can do is I can pay you $1,300 a month, and I can lease it from you for the next 2 years, and I can get an owner to get, or next 4 years or 5 years or whatever, and I'll find somebody that will cash you out. Right? So it doesn't matter what they say. You have an answer. If you understand these 7 offers, you have an answer.
Yeah, they don't have to like the deal, but you got several.
Well, let me ask you something. If you're paying $2,200 a month, okay, and there's nobody in the house, and you're paying $2,200 a month, does that suck?
It sucks.
It sucks. Okay, so what happens if you had to only now went from $2,200 a month to now $900 a month? Would that be better?
Sucks less.
Okay, but it would be better.
Yeah, but people won't think like that. Well, they wouldn't do. Well, if the guy's really stuck, he might.
Okay.
But you can't offer more than you can offer. If that's the offer, that's the offer. If he doesn't
All right,
take
so
it,
let's take it one step further.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm on a rant now. Remember I told you I'm on a
still
rant.
ranting?
I'm still ranting.
This is number 1 or number 2 now?
We're all on one big rant here.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let's take it one step further. The guy's like, well, I don't know if I can afford paying $900 a month. Okay, what happens if I gave you a deposit to absorb some of that money? Would that help you? Well, what do you mean? I don't know. Suppose I would give you $5,000. Right?
Yep.
Would that help you? Get through some of the hurt? Guy's like, yeah. Okay, so if I give you $5,000 down, right? Whatever the number is, I'm making numbers up. If I give you $5,000 down and pay you $1,300 a month, will you sell me the house? Yeah, I would consider that. Right? So where are you going to get the $5,000 from?
From the guy who buys the house on
Exactly.
the lease.
So the guy that's going to buy the house, he's going to pay 10. You're going to give him 5.
You keep 5. So you made 5, he made 5.
How many people are going to make that offer?
Zip.
It's just understanding those 7 offers. Understanding them really well.
And you can't think in your head, well, he'll never do that.
You have to make an offer. The only way you will buy a house is to make an offer, and I'm telling you to make it to a motivated seller.
Yep.
And if you have enough deal flow coming in, and you have your marketing working, and you got 3 or 4 or 5 phone calls a week, and able to talk to 1 or 2 people a week and go make an offer a week, you will buy a house.
You know what else it'll do? All us rookies are scared.
Yeah.
We're a little uncomfortable with it, not sure what we're doing because we're new at it. And if you had more deals coming through, you wouldn't be so worried.
Right.
You don't have to have the one deal that comes through.
I don't understand that. That's so perplexing. And I was the same way. It's like, I just want to swear right now. I just want to start dropping the F-bomb.
Because
I'm like,
let me turn the
I'm
volume
pissed
off.
now.
Let me turn the volume off.
I'm pissed now.
Go in the closet.
What are you scared about? I mean, you're going to lease the property from the guy. You don't own the property. The deed is not in your name. You're not giving him any money down. You're going to give him $10 for an option consideration deposit, and that's it. What are you scared for?
Exactly.
So you don't lease the property out. You go back in 90 years and say, I didn't lease the property out. You lost $10. And yeah, the guy's mad at you, and I understand that you may be uncomfortable. But really, what did you lose? You got a valuable lesson. I can't tell you how many coaching clients that I talk to, and I talk to them every single day, because you're with me, that tell me, oh my God, I didn't buy that deal, but I learned so much from it. You're telling me that right now with this guy that you made the offer, you didn't buy the offer, you don't even care that you didn't buy the offer. The fact that you sat there and you got a major education out of it, you're like, oh my God, I got that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But you got up off your ass and you did it. And you do your time blocking. And you allow certain times of the week. And you have no scarcity in deals. Because I'm going to tell you the best way in the world to make this real estate business work for anybody is to get people calling you saying, I got a house for sale. What can you do for me? And you will figure out how to get through the obstacles. You will figure out how to get the money. You will figure out, because if you got a deal on the table and they're actually talking to you, it's going to get you going. Deal flow. You have to work every single week on deal flow. How do you get phone calls? You should wake up every single morning and say, I need to make an offer today. When am I going to do that?
Yeah, I know you do.
And if you do that enough, all of a sudden offers will come in. Or deals will come in. You start making offers. Hell, I got clients right now that are lazy sons of bitches. Okay? Lazy. And I'll name them. And I tell them.
Names. Well,
I'll tell them.
You will. I know you will.
Right?
Yeah.
So
what are you doing?
Minimally, I just tell them they have MLS access. I tell them to go on there and make an offer a day.
Yeah.
Well, don't go look at any houses. Don't do nothing. You know that neighborhood. You know how much it's worth. The worst case scenario. So it's $180,000 after renovated value. Okay, do your Mayo formula. Figure out the square footage. How much repairs. We have a little formula we use on how to make those offers. Right.
Yeah.
And make an offer a day.
Mm-hmm.
On the MLS.
Yeah.
And by the way, those two students both have 3 deals right now.
Because they did it.
In the work.
Because they did it.
Because they did what I told them to. The one, remember we did that Saturday coaching, and the one girl, I reamed her for like an hour. You know what?
we all squirmed while you did.
But she is probably turning out to be one of my best clients. Because she listened.
She did.
And she's moving.
Yeah.
But that's because she was doing it all wrong. She would go out, drive around, look at the houses, and she'd spend all week on one offer. No. Put in one offer a day. And just like I told you yesterday, you write a purchase sales contract, just put in the contingencies approval based on my partner or my partner's acceptance. Or with the bank ones, you just put in there, offer contingent upon my inspection.
Right.
All you're looking for is, because I just got done telling you that a realtor is not allowed to give you the motivation of the seller.
Yeah. So
at this particular point, we're hunting on MLS for motivation. So how do we know they got motivated? Well, it's a $180,000 house. They're asking $140,000. I offered $77,000. They came back with a counteroffer and said, no, but we'll do $120,000. That's the deal you work on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't work on the rest.
So you're just casting your lines, and then whatever bites you, then you follow up on it.
Start reeling it in.
Instead of following up something that you don't have any idea if it's anything there.
Because that seller came back and said, no, we won't take 130. We were asking 130. We'll take 120. Now, depending on their next response is how much time you're going to work on it. But at least you got somebody that you have a motivated seller on the line, and you're willing to work on that. And if you just isolate your time a few hours a week with just dealing with motivated sellers, you will notice a great difference.
It's true.
And the only way you're going to do that is to have deal flow. And you can make a bunch of offers because it's buying houses with no bank qualifying, using my 7 offers. The only one you need money for is retail rehab, and even then you don't need money because you use a private lender. But all the rest of them are nothing but leases and mortgages and subject tos, and you don't need money. It's an excuse if you're telling yourself that. And by the way, I'm a dick with this. If you're not making an offer a day, it's a hobby. It's not a job. At least 3 offers a week. It's a hobby, not a job. So wake up and tell yourself the truth. It's a hobby, not a job. Bada boom. Rant over.
Rant over. Yay!
We're way over our time. All right, good. So flipping houses for rookies. Nope, it's not called that. It's flippinghouses.club. You watch our videos, flippinghouses.club. We have some new stuff on there. Like I said, there's a beginner's checklist on there. You should be able to find that on the website. You can always go to flippinghouses.club/podcast to get all the podcasts we have. They're all in one spot, so you don't have to go hunting and pecking around for them. And you should also go check out our schedule because I've been doing some really awesome webinars lately. They're cool because I get not a lot of people, 30, 40 people on a webinar based on our mailing list. We're doing one later. It's all about deal structuring. All the stuff we're talking about today, I'm going to do a whole 90 minutes just on deal structuring.
Oh, that's good. So if somebody misses one that you've already done, can they also find it somewhere after? Are we there yet?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Okay. But
So they
exist.
Well, yes and no.
You didn't erase them, did you?
No, and we're dealing with that.
Okay.
But my point is that right now when I'm doing a webinar, they're live webinars.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing them. Later on, we're going to automate them some a bit, but you should definitely pay attention because that's a great place to go. It's in the chat box, but you can ask me questions because I'm the one that's running the webinar, and I'll answer your questions, and I get a lot of questions there. The last thing is if you do have questions, which I answer a lot of those, you can email me at info@flippinghouses.club. info@flippinghouses.club. It's at the when you get done, after we get done talking, there's that little exit thing. It's in that's in there too. The guy says you can get more information.
Oh yeah, at the end of our podcast.
At the end of our podcast.
That's some pretty good music too going on there.
Yeah, we had a special effects guy come in and do that for us. His name is Pete the Rookie.
Yeah.
All right, Pete, we're done. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. I'm not going to apologize for my rant. Go back and rewind it and listen to it again.
Yeah, do it again.
All right, over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.